Suitable Flesh is a kind of movie that lacks explanation for what's going on and why, but you'll be so locked in while the movie's going on that you'll forget to ask these questions until it's over. To summarize the film, a boy named Ace is possessed by something that wants his body, and so he seeks out Beth, a psychologist, for help. She assumes the young man just has paranoid schizophrenia. However, as she grows attached to him and investigates what's going on in his home life, she learns not only of that her diagnosis is wrong, but something sinister is going on. So in terms of what to look out for when it comes to Suitable Flesh, just know it has cursing, gun violence, blood, open wounds, and depictions of a desecrated body. Alongside that, there's nudity and sexual situations, which include bare breasts and a depiction of someone's buttocks. And in terms of miscellaneous stuff, there is drinking and also smoking. As for highlights, what Suitable Flesh does best is steadily raise the stakes in the madness. It goes from a boy who may just have issues to meeting his crazed father, there being an affair, back and forth possessions, and then, of course, violence amongst all that. The combination makes it so you are never bored, for there's always something going on. And I'd even add in, even with the level of escalation we see, and that very much being the main selling point, you don't lose what you can feel for characters, even without learning much in a way about them. With that said, I must admit, part of the reasons why you may feel connected to the characters is because when it comes to Asa and also Beth, they're people you probably have seen before, and even in the case of Dr. Upton, she's played by Barbara Campton, who, granted, I did not know who she was before seeing this movie, but between waiting online and then watching the Q&A, it seemed like she was a very big deal and somebody worth knowing, so that's why I remember who she is at this point. With that said, it's more so the sensationalized parts that stick with you than it is anything else that goes on. For when I was first working on a review for this, one of the things I was going to talk about how the humor was going to be hit or miss, but the further separate I am from watching the film, I have to admit, I can't remember a single joke or comical moment. I do know that the demon entity was definitely vulgar and also a bit weird and had a few comical moments, especially when it came to its interest in Beth. However, as a whole, I can't say that Suitable Flesh has that real standout moment of performance. If anything, it's like a lot of horror movies where its imagery is the most memorable thing, be it seeing Lewis's body chopped up with the skin peeling off, and by Lewis I mean Judah Lewis, who plays Asa, who you may know from the Babysitter franchise on Netflix. And between that, watching all the contortions when people switch bodies, or seeing Heather Graham topless, that's the imagery and stuff that you remember. And this isn't to say this is a bad film whatsoever, it's just more so it's the kind of horror film that you know is more about sex and violence than it is about anything else it can really offer. And the second on the fence topic is what doesn't help, in the form of there's no real explanation on what this entity is. Is it a demon? Is it something like Chucky from Child's Play, where it's this person who just hops bodies to try to stay alive or stay youthful or healthy? It's not something we're told at all. And granted, this is based off of The Thing on the Doorstep by H.P. Lovecraft, which I have not read, so maybe there's details in that book that may answer a few things, but anything that's an adaptation that pushes you to read the original source material because something feels missing seems a bit wrong to me. But at the same time, whether this was a direct adaptation or is this based on or just inspired by, without knowing the source material well, I can't tell you. Overall, Suitable Flesh is an entertaining horror film that is worth watching if it comes on a streaming platform you already have access to. But while it may not have anything which may make it stand out necessarily compared to the plethora of very good horror films that have been out lately, if you need a fix, this can definitely be a decent form of methadone to get you going until something potentially better comes out.